As a server, have you ever wondered what exactly to say to your guests as you approach their table and speak to them for the first time? What's up, servers? I'm Colby Emerson. I own PreShiftService.com. It's a hospitality and service training company and resource. And I'm not here to pitch you anything. I'm simply here to offer the most useful pieces of my 20 years experience in customer service and hospitality with the hope that you find something helpful. First impressions are critical in hospitality and table service. And since the dining experience lasts roughly 1 to 2 hours, but on average an hour and a half, that doesn't give us much time to recover from a bad first impression or claw our way back from early missteps or mistakes. With that in mind, let's talk about how to display competence, confidence, and care with those first few words that we say to our guests. In the hospitality setting, every professional greeting should simply begin with good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, whichever one applies. And that should be immediately followed up by a direct acknowledgement of the guests. And remember, women should always be addressed first. So if I'm addressing a large party, for example, and this is a good way to remember the order, I might say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, that's my go-to in those situations. If I'm greeting or addressing a table of 2 for the first time, I'll say, good evening, ladies, good evening, gentlemen. Or if there's a man and a woman at the table, I'll say, good evening, Ms., sir. In a more casual setting, I might take a less formal approach and say something like, good evening, you 2, or good evening, you 3, good evening, how are the 4 of you? Something along those lines. Then after I've said that, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say something like, thank you for joining us, or we're glad you're here, before I introduce myself. If there is a name associated with the reservation, or a guest or guests of honor, I'll always try to use those names as a part of my introduction. So that might sound something like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jones, thanks for joining us. Or if it's a two-top, let's say, good evening, Ms., Mr. Jones, we're glad you're here. And that's all there is to it. A confident and professional greeting is no more complicated than that. That's it for this service snack. I hope it helps you greet and address your guests confidently every single time. If you found any of this content useful, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at PreShift Service, or visit our website at PreShiftService.com. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time.